defense kind from the opposition side of the House only rely on one assumption, that these soldiers are not capable to criticize. As government, we are not talking that in the status quo, they are totally capable. We understand in war, in conflict, there are various and multidimensional circumstances in which they are able and not. But we say this proposal is allowing more soldiers to incentivizing them to speak up against this dictatorship leaders. We can see that currently we are given the circumstances that currently maybe these leaders are dictator. But we say in their side of the House, brainwash and dictatorship military operation will still continue because at their best case scenario, change is contingent to only the reflection and remorse of the leaders, ladies and gentlemen. We say on our side of the House, check and balance and accountability is going to be better because we say that change is only possible if there is a communal evaluation for all soldiers and military members, ladies and gentlemen. We say military is a form of teamwork, and we say change is not going to be only capable if it's only being realized only by the leader, right? Okay, so in this debate, I'm going to talk about, no thank you. So in this debate, I'm going to talk about three main issues. First of all, I'm going to talk about accountability. Second, I'm going to talk about justice system. But lastly, I'm going to talk about the behavior of the soldier. Going to the accountability, right? We say currently, check and balance in the status quo only occur in one head, in one individual, which is the leader. We say best form of check and balance is going to be occur if we distribute the function to the numerous people and create active conscience of what is happening in the military ground, ladies and gentlemen. They never prove to you why the leaders is the ultimate actor that's only capable in doing the function of accountability and check and balance. We say currently it will create incentive to the entire military system to evaluate the overall operation and speak up, ladies and gentlemen. Never been rebutted by the second speaker, right? We say currently check and balance is the function and exactly the purpose of our proposal in our today's debate. Okay, go to the second issue, right? Let's talk about the behavior of soldier. This is interesting, right? Because they tell us that these people are doing it's only being nationalistic. People will perceive as a traitor. Okay, what does that mean? It means that they submit to us an inconsistent characteristic. Because first, they say these people don't have ability to control, but saying that these people have fear to be perceived as traitor means that they are able to calculate that this action is wrong, that this action is actually bad, but if they don't do this, they will be perceived as traitor. What does that mean? It means that there is an embodiment of self-interest here, ladies and gentlemen. The intention to maintain power and position exists. Meanwhile, they know at the cost of their maintaining power and maintaining their position, they are going to sacrifice more people on the ground, more victims or war crimes, never being rebutted by the opposition of the House. Exactly now, their rejection will be legitimate because they can say, I don't want to be prison, I still want to serve my country. I don't want to obey to that kind of comment because I know that thing is going to make me enter the jail and the prison in itself. We say those are creating a legitimate rejection reason for the soldiers to go up against the false claim, false comment from the comment. No, thank you. But let's talk about brainwash, right? Is that exist? No, we don't think so. People join military when they are already adult, when they already get information what is universally claimed as right and wrong. Killing using chemical bombs, torturing is things that are universally deemed as wrong. We never condone to the act of killing. These soldiers know that this is a wrong thing. But even if that brainwash does exist, this is a mechanism to counterbalance that kind of indoctrination. Because this military court will tell that this is a wrong thing, and as soldiers, you should not condone to that action. In that side of the House, brainwash will still sustain, and this leader will still have the capacity to do brainwash because military court does not serve its function in order to debunk all the brainwash and indoctrination and the value that's entrenched within the military camp. But lastly, they talk about stress and, under panic and so on and so forth. No, we don't think so, right? We say as soldiers, you are already being trained as an actor and as a figure that's already capable in order to mitigating stress and dilemma within the war crime. We say that soldiers are already well trained, and we say stress is not going to become a factor that we should consider. And that's the debate. But lastly, let me talk about the justice system, right? Yes.
If your proof problem is indoctrination and evil comments, we say exactly that's the moment for you to change the behavior of the leader without necessarily jeopardizing the life of the soldiers in itself.
First of all, brainwash is your problem, not mine. But second of all, we say currently that this generals is also going to be punished, right? We never say that these leaders are not going to go immune to the punishment. We say on our side of the house it's going to be better because we're going to both punish these generals and these member of soldiers. We say we are going to criminalize the crime, the mastermind of this crime, and we're also going to prosecute the executor of this crime. But let me talk about the justice system, right? We say currently they say it's unfair justice system because the order is supreme and there's no intention by the soldiers. They are only proxy. Okay, let me analyze. Is intention the only thing that we consider? No, we always consider multi-dimensional reason. That's why we punish negligence in the military court. We say this is a form of complacency to the act of war crime, and we say that is in itself already wrong because again and there has repeatedly and continuously telling the adjudicator that this is a form of complacency, and by the means they're executing this means that they have degree of control, but they continue, they stay doing that action. Ladies and gentlemen, that symbolizes that they have degree of control, but they still continue. At the very worst case, they're going to be get fired. But we say get fired should be an action that you should take in comparison in committing war crimes. We say the means that they stay means that they're complicit and they choose their position in comparison in sacrificing all of these victims. We say they never tell us why currently that is a just system. But lastly, let me talk about incentive. They say that the reason of reform is vicarious liability. No, we don't think so. Because when you can always opt out from punishment and pass it to your leader, it will reduce your incentive to speak up. Also never being rebutted by the opposition side of the house. We already characterized to you if currently that our military system and our military operation is that fucked up, is that dictatorship, we need to do something. We submit to you that this policy is going to solve. They never tell you how in their side of the house it's going to be better. How in their side of the house the natural change is going to occur. Because they only rely on one assumption that the leader will change. But how? They never tell us. We say that currently this is going to create a communal participation of evaluation and accountability. We say there is never a harm of including more people to evaluation system. I've never been proud to speak in final lecture.